Good evening. On behalf of the College of Agricultural Sciences and Natural Resources at Oklahoma State University, I'd like to welcome you tonight. I'm Dr. Stephen Cooper with the Animal Science Department, and I'd like to visit with you a little bit this evening about what Oklahoma State has to offer you here through the College of Ag. As you can see, we have about 24,000 students enrolled at Oklahoma State. For those of you that may be coming here to us, from a rural community or a small town, that may sound large, but what I can tell you about Stillwater is that it has an extremely small town environment, a very friendly environment, and the same environment that you would probably find here in the College of Ag as well as all of the departments. We have 8 colleges here at OSU, including Agricultural Sciences and Natural Resources, Arts and Sciences, Education, Engineering, Architecture and Technology, Human Sciences, Spears School of Business, the honors colleges as well as the graduate colleges. I might also point out on this slide that relative to the honors colleges, we have several students within the College of Ag that are part of the honors college. Now those students have to meet minimum requirements to be accepted in there. However, that's a program that is meant to supplement their undergraduate program while they're here working on a BS in a number of different majors within the College of Ag. If you're wondering how to apply, you can simply go to www.okstate.edu, where you'll find a number of links relative to admissions, scholarships, financial aid, as well as all the student activities that we offer here on the campus. If you're a freshman, you will find on this information that there's a number of different ways that you can meet those admission requirements, starting with a minimum score of 24 ACT. There are also combinations of your GPA relative to your class rank and in combination with a lower ACT score. If you're coming to us as a transfer student, depending on the number of credits that you have, you'll see varying GPA requirements of 2.0 to 2.25. I would point out that, as we'll show you here in a minute, minimum GPA requirements on transfers as far as receiving scholarships are quite a bit higher. Relative to transfer application dates, preferred enrollment dates for July 1st for our fall enrollment, November 15th for spring enrollment, and April 15th for our summer enrollment. Relative to scholarships, this is probably one of the most common questions we get, especially from you parents out there. Merit-based assistance is relative to typically GPAs and especially ACT scores of those incoming freshmen. To give you an example of one of those, we have what we call President's Distinguished Scholarships. Different departments within the College of Ag would offer PDS scholarships. Students have to meet certain requirements relative to their ACT and GPAs. For example, you have to have a minimum of a 27 ACT and a 3.75 high school GPA. The good part about those scholarships is that they pay $2,200 a year, and students are eligible for those for 4 years as long as they meet minimum grade requirements. If you look at the award levels, there's 3 different levels of scholarship that you can receive here as a student. The university level, the college level, which in the College of Ag we've given away approximately $1 million, and also within each department there is a scholarship program within the College of Ag. One thing I would say is that students, when you're applying to OSU, very important that you declare a major. What this does, it obviously gets you within the pool of scholarship at the university level, but it also gets you identified within the College of Ag and within a department within the college, and that way you're eligible for all 3 levels of scholarship. How do you apply? Admission scholarship application for both transfers as well as freshmen is always February 1st. Our freshman students, there is one application for both admissions and scholarships. Again, the thing to keep in mind is don't make the mistake of not declaring a major. Students that come in undecided will not get identified within a department within our college and could potentially miss out on several good scholarship opportunities. Again, relative to our College of Ag scholarships, Freshman applicants must meet a minimum 24 ACT or 1090 SAT and have at least an unweighted high school GPA of 3.0. Now, I would also add that when you go down to the departmental level, we have separate scholarships that are awarded through each department, and those departments may have other criteria that students can qualify for scholarships on. For example, the student's background, their interest, career interest, background in different leadership activities. So I would encourage you to look at those, and I'd also encourage you to visit with each department within the College of Ag that you may have an interest in. Transfer applications. If you have at least 24 transferable credit hours and at least a 3.25 GPA, you will be considered for a College of Ag scholarship. And again, I would say the same thing for transfers relative to departments. They may have different requirements relative to GPA, and there may be a number of named scholarships that have very specific requirements for a student's background, again, their career interests, their major interest of study, and things of that nature. If you're looking at enrollment, we have about 2,000 undergraduate students within this college. We house 9 different departments, and among those departments, we offer about 16 different majors with a combination of 57 different study options. Now, one of the most common questions we get is, one, what is a study option, and what does it allow you to do? For example, in animal science, one of the most common questions we would get is, can a student major in a particular species or a particular discipline? Our answer to that is no. We want our students to come out well-rounded, and so the study options would allow a student to major within a specific area without getting them too concentrated within one area. Kasner also houses about 35 different student clubs. If you look campus-wide, we have about 400 clubs, lots of activities for students to take part in. Here a little later, you're going to get to ask questions and visit with some of our top students in the College of Ag. I would also add to the student clubs that we have a number of different leadership opportunities. We have a student here tonight that is a member of our Ag Ambassador leadership group at the college level. We also have students here that are on judging teams within our animal science program. We have a number of judging teams within other departments such as soils, horticulture, 5 different judging teams within the Department of Animal Science, including livestock, meats, horse, dairy, poultry. So lots of things for students to get involved in. I would also say that one of our biggest options across the college is our pre-vet option. We have a very large pre-vet club that catches students from across the entire college, that helps those students get ready and prepare themselves to be good, solid candidates for that school. You know, one of the things that kids often say to us is that it feels like a family atmosphere within the College of Ag. 2 reasons for that. One, the faculty here have an extremely open door policy. The faculty also advise students both on an academic basis as well as advising most, if not all, of the clubs within the college. The faculty will also supervise different units both on campus and off campus where we employ a number of students. And so when they get here, and if they're majoring in the College of Ag, they are going to have a lot of one-on-one interaction with the faculty. And the College of Ag has a long history of hiring the top faculty within their particular disciplines. And so for students to have access to those people, again, I think that's one thing that will set our college apart. Transfer students, we have programs and we have clubs and we have activities that will help our transfers get what we call hooked into our system. Not only are they going to leave here sound academically, but we have a number of different programs and activities for them to get involved in to help make that transition easier coming from a junior college into a 4-year program. Study abroad, we have a number of different countries represented here on this slide, as well as others that we've probably left off. We do have a study abroad program within the College of Ag. If you then take it down to the departmental level, we have numerous faculty members that are taking students abroad on different tours. We have faculty members taking students and to leadership encounters and taking them to conduct programs within different countries. Personally, I've experienced taking students in animal science to places like England, Germany, Denmark, and taking those students and doing, for example, horsemanship clinics for AQHA. We've had other students that have gone to different countries to do different tours and even studying abroad, taking courses which they can then use towards a degree here back home. Kazner students live together, grow together in what we call freshmen in transition. You hear it referred to as FIT. It's a very good program for our incoming freshmen. There is a separate application that students need to fill out in order to qualify and be accepted into this program. But it really helps and aids the transition of a freshman that's coming in, that's trying to get acclimated to OSU, to Stillwater, to the college, to their department, and hopefully it will make that transition easier. It also gets them in contact with upperclassmen who can help them with that transition, as well as putting them into contact with faculty members that can obviously aid in that transition. They also have special housing. You'll hear it referred to as Kazner Village. This is where students, again, have the opportunity to live together in certain floors and certain dorms, again, that put them around students with similar interests and backgrounds, but would also be exposed to some diversity within the college. Looking at our departments and our majors, starting with Ag Economics, we have two different majors in Ag Econ. The first one being Ag Economics with accounting double major, as well as an international agricultural marketing major. Within agribusiness, as you can see, multiple different options. They also have a double major with Ag Communications, which is a separate department and major within our college. Also have cooperation from Crop and Soil Science, options in Farm and Ranch Management, Finance, Management, Marketing, and, for example, options in Pre-Law and Pre-Vet for those students who are trying to combine a solid business background with their aspirations of going on to a professional school. Looking at our Ag Education, Communications, and Leadership department, we have three different majors. Within Ag Communications, they offer, again, also two different options, one with Animal Science and one with Ag Business. To give you an example of some of the other benefits, students with working on an Ag Business option within Agricultural Communications, with the right combinations of courses, those students would be afforded the opportunity to be receiving a minor in Ag Business without taking any extra courses. And again, it allows students to be working in two different departments at the same time. Within Ag Education, also have an option cooperation with the Horticulture department and an Agricultural Leadership major with options in Extension Education as well as International Studies. Within Animal Science, which is the largest major on campus, we offer a number of different options. The first two actually are double majors, one with our Ag Communications department, the other one with our Ag Ed department. And a student could combine animal science courses with Ag Ed and then use that to go out and go on the block, and then with aspirations of going out and working in the ag teaching field. We have science-based options like animal biotechnology. We also have a business option, which again is very popular among our students who are seeking, for example, minors in ag business or ag econ. We have international option, livestock merchandising, production option for kids that are more interested in maybe the hands-on and the ranch operations. And then, of course, our biggest option is pre-vet, which constitutes about 45% of our undergraduate population. We also, within animal science, more recently, have started a food science major. It is housed under the Department of Animal Science, and underneath that we offer three options, one with an industry option, one with a meat science option, and one that's food science option for kids that maybe are more interested in going on continuing work in food science or meat science in graduate school versus going straight out and working in some aspect of the food or meats industry. Biochemistry and molecular biology, as you can see, several different options here that allow students the opportunity to be working towards advanced degrees and preparing themselves towards going on to one of these professional schools, whether it be medical school, dental school, veterinary school, optometry, or even pharmacy. Within biosystems and engineering, we have biomechanical options, a bioprocessing and biotech option, environmental and natural resources option, which again overlaps into our natural resource ecology management department, and as well as food processing. I can also tell you that departments like animal science and biosystems work very closely together. Our food science majors and the people that we have working in food science working together with faculty members in biosystems and engineering working on the areas of food processing. So it makes for a nice collaboration among the faculty, but even more so, it allows students the opportunity to be gaining experience with people working in two different departments. Entomology and plant pathology. Entomology offers options in insect biology and ecology, bioforensics, as well as two pre-professional degrees, those being pre-med and pre-vet. Horticulture and landscape architecture. Within horticulture, we have horticultural business option, which again would overlap into our ag econ, ag business department, horticulture science, as well as public horticulture and turf management. We also have majors within landscape architecture and landscape contracting. Looking at our NREM, or our natural resource ecology and management, they offer options within fire ecology and management, fisheries and aquatic, forest ecology and management, natural history and conservation, rangeland ecology and management, wildlife ecology and management, with a sub-option underneath there with the pre-veterinary sciences. So again, as you can see, we have several different majors across different departments that would also allow students different types of degrees that if they wanted to take their primary major and then go into a pre-professional or a professional type field, whether it be veterinary science, medical science, pharmacy, law school, there are a number of different ways to combine majors within the College of Ag. Plant and soil sciences, as again you can see, options in agribusiness, bioenergy and production, forage and livestock production, plant biotechnology, plant science, soil and water resources, and soil geotechnology. Again, you can see some overlap between one or more departments within the college. And lastly, we have environmental science undergraduate option. Within an environmental science major, they do offer three different options within environmental policy, our natural resources, as well as our water resources. And lastly, with our minors, you can see different minors with ag econ and ag business, agronomy, animal science, biochemistry and molecular biology, entomology, environmental economics and policy, fisheries and aquatic, forestry, horticulture, leadership education, natural resource ecology and management, pest management, rangeland ecology and management, and soil science. Again, this allows students opportunities to be working typically within a primary major within a department, but then at the same time incorporating courses that would allow them experience in maybe a totally unrelated field. But then in our hopes that this is going to make for a better, more well-rounded student when they get out of here, and for us a more marketable student that we could put out there in the workforce and represent Oklahoma State and the College of Ag. So with that, I'll say go Pokes, and at this time we're going to introduce some of our top undergraduate students here within the College of Ag, and myself as well as you students will be glad to answer any questions that you guys may have. Tonight again we're here and I have three of our top undergraduate students here within the College of Ag. I'm going to start here with Clay, and I'm going to let these guys just introduce themselves, tell you a little bit about what they're doing here at OSU and where they're from.
Well, thank you, Dr. Cooper. My name's Clay Zwilling from Viola, Illinois. I'm an animal science, ag education double major, and I'm a junior, and I transferred from Lakeland College.
My name's Jan Lee Rowlett. I'm from Hurricane Mills, Tennessee. A junior this year, I'm majoring in animal science with a business option, and I'm a member of the Animal Science Leadership Alliance and the Oklahoma Cattle Women's.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jackson Alexander, and I serve as an ambassador for the College of Agricultural Sciences and Natural Resources here at OSU. I am a junior majoring in agricultural communications with a minor in ag economics, and I am from Anadarko, Oklahoma.
Is OSU different from other schools? You guys want to field that?
I think my favorite thing about OSU is coming here. You know, it had such a great reputation all the way, the university as a whole, on the college level, and then especially in the animal science department. And when I got here, I wasn't disappointed. It's fulfilled every expectation that I had, and I couldn't have asked for a better college experience. So everything from the traditions that we have here at OSU to just the quality education that I feel like we all receive.
And I would agree with that, and to reiterate what Dr. Cooper said about the family atmosphere. You know, coming from a school, going to college for 2 years prior to coming to OSU, I was a little worried about the adjustment, but getting here, everyone's very welcoming. It's a very family-like atmosphere, and Jan Lee talked about the tradition, and one thing that I think is just tremendous about OSU is our alumni base, and that's something that when I get done with school and when we all get done with school, it's something that's going to be important because we have the possibility to work with OSU alumni someday. And so these may be the people that hire us, and just being part of the same tradition, the same career pathway is really neat.
Just to echo what they both said, you know, here at OSU, we really have a family feel. And working as a Kasner ambassador, I've had the opportunity over the last year to really showcase to students that at OSU, you know, whether you come from a large school or a small town, you're really going to get that family atmosphere. We have an open door policy, as Dr. Cooper told you earlier. You're going to have so many opportunities to come in and meet one-on-one with your advisors and really make those close, tight-knit relationships that are going to last a lifetime.
I'll take that one. As we mentioned earlier, the applications for both freshmen and for transfer are due February 1 every year. When you fill out your admissions application to OSU, you'll also fill out one scholarship application. Now, the good thing about that is that, again, like I said, as long as you declare a major, then not only does that get you in the university pool of scholarships, but it also gets you identified with the college when with the department, which puts you in 2 additional pools of scholarship money. I would say you can start with the College of Ag. We have recruiting services here within the department, and we have our top students like Jackson here that are here and available to answer questions for prospective students. At the college level, then, if once visiting with you, or if you have an interest within a specific major, then they can direct you to an individual department where you'll sit down with a faculty member, and then we will further visit with you about what we have to offer relative to majors, scholarships, and opportunities within your respective department.
One thing we invite prospective students to do is actually come on campus and have a visit. And one way you can go about that is through admissions.okstate.edu. You can go on there and schedule a visit, and they'll bring you in on the university level and give you some information there, and then bring you to the college. And then Jackson, an ambassador, or our coordinator for prospective students will sit down with you, go through the highlights of the college, and then we'll actually schedule an academic appointment with the major that you have the most interest in. So you'd actually get to sit down with an advisor, talk about what your actual coursework would be like, and they can answer more questions about what you want to know on the department level.
I would agree with that too, and the thing that I felt very good about when I came here is they also have transfer days for students that are coming to sign up for classes, and it's specifically geared towards transfer students. So you're not in there with a group of high school seniors that may not quite realize what you've been through. You're with groups of peers from across the country that are in the same boat as you, and that's where I met a lot of the friends that I have now, is actually at my transfer day when I came the spring before I registered in the fall. And so it's a very similar process. You go and you meet and you talk about the campus, and then you go and you meet with your individuals, you meet with your advisor for the first time. But I found that was a very smooth transition and really helped me out transferring.
So the question is, do you have to go with the pre-vet option no matter your major in order to get into vet school? We actually have different majors across the college that have the pre-vet option, and those courses are the ones that are required for you to get into vet school. So yes, it is a good plan. You can major in anything, but you have to take those core classes in order to meet the requirements to get into vet school. You can do animal science with the pre-vet option, ag business with the pre-vet option, natural resource ecology and management with the pre-vet option. Entomology has a pre-vet option, and those are kind of geared toward maybe if you want to go into research. And then also biochemistry and molecular biology has a pre-vet option. Again, that would kind of prepare you more for a research role. We like to say that animal science maybe is the most well-rounded, kind of gives you the most hands-on experience if you want to go into vet school. But there are those options. And then again, if you're interested in running your own practice, ag business might be a good way to go. So.
I would say absolutely, and I can say that confidently, even only completing a full semester here at OSU. I talked about the alumni base, and I've had the opportunity to meet so many substantial people within the agriculture industry that I know when I go out there that we will be extremely well equipped. So I also realized that going to OSU, they give you really practical skills. Sometimes when you hear about other universities and you hear about schools, you hear that, oh, it's just all knowledge based, it's all from the textbook, and you don't get anything practical. But that's something here at OSU that's not lacking. It's extremely practical, it's extremely real world, and we have some of the best people in their fields here. And they really know what's going on, and everything's current, and as I said, it's very applicable in real world.
Absolutely. I've had the opportunity to get to know students my age and that are in similar situations from across the country. And I always feel comfortable, if we're having a discussion about anything industry related, down to just the science of how things work. So I felt like absolutely OSU has prepared me, and I think, no matter what your plans are after college, we have a really broad range of things here that will prepare you pretty much to do anything. So I would say absolutely, and I'm very confident in the education that I've gotten here.
To echo what both Clay and Janley had to say, the skills you learn in a classroom are definitely going to prepare you for the potential career that you want. But the things that prepare you for your future, I feel like, are things you learn out of the classroom each and every day. Whether it's going in for an advising appointment or meeting with faculty and staff, as we've said before, make those connections. Building your future isn't all about education all of the time. It's about building life skills as well. And I think OSU does a superior job of coupling the skills you learn in the classroom as well as the life skills that you need to go out and be a young professional. This is kind of a question that I receive on a weekly basis since I am a Kasner ambassador and we meet with students day in and day out. In Stillwater, there are a number of opportunities. Obviously, at any university in the fall, game day is going to be huge. I know with our football team doing so well last year and winning the Big 12, game day was bigger and better than ever. And with some wonderful alumni who have given generous donations to the university, we've really been able to make our athletics something that other universities look to as a great example of what a Division I university has. Aside from athletics in the fall, not only football, there's basketball and baseball. There's so many other opportunities. Stillwater is relatively close to two larger cities here in Oklahoma. Both Tulsa and Oklahoma City are an hour away. So if you really want to experience outstanding culture and cuisine, you can go to Oklahoma City or Tulsa and really have those wonderful opportunities.
I would agree, and everything that he said is absolutely accurate. And just to captivate what he was talking about with the football thing, you always hear about Oklahoma State football, and you don't really understand it until you experience it. It is something that, as much as you go into that stadium and there's a game, it's really a show. Just all the tradition that goes on there, it's extremely entertaining. And outside of that, there's a lot of things to do off campus as well. We have an awesome recreational center in the Coleman. I believe it's the nation's largest, and it has some of the most unique things you can do in there. There's Zumba classes, which I don't partake in, but they have tumbling classes, swimming pools, basketball, all sorts of fun activities to do on campus. And then, as he said, you're close to Tulsa, you're close to Oklahoma City, so there's a lot of neat things that you can experience just a short drive from Stillwater. But if you're really more geared towards that small town family feeling, Stillwater's the place for you.
Absolutely. I came here from a relatively small town, and I never really lived in a town the size of Stillwater before. And I know it might seem small to some people, but to me it was pretty big. And it's easy to find your way around. It's easy to get used to and adjust to the town. Everybody here is so welcoming. I don't think you could ask for a better town to come to college in.
He also mentioned the food, and so there's a lot of unique opportunities for food also. I mean, we have Eskimo Joe's, which is a really neat cultural experience. We have an Olive Garden opening up now, so that's really exciting. And there's a lot of opportunities just to stay in Stillwater, and you can really go out and socialize with friends.
Absolutely.
Jan Lee talked about the Stillwater community being so welcoming, and I know businesses around Stillwater would agree that without the university, the town wouldn't be the same. And the town and this community of Stillwater really makes a great effort to support the university in every way that they can.
I'll take that one, and then you guys can chime in. One thing that I would like to say relative to that is that a lot of times people may not think about different careers coming through the College of Ag. As you noticed on several of those departments within their study options, it allows students opportunities to be prepared for other types of professional careers. You might not think about coming through ag business to go to law school. You might not think about coming through animal science to go to medical school. But the way our curriculums are set up, it allows students not only to go out into fields where they're specifically trained for, but also it may prepare them to go out into a totally unrelated field. But because of their experience at OSU, because of the faculty that the students have mentioned, because of interaction with the faculty within these departments, our job is to produce the most well-rounded students that we can and prepare them for any type of professional career. And you guys, you might mention again, relative to your majors, but more specifically, you might tell them what you're thinking about going on and doing, because I'm surprised sometimes at what students tell me their ultimate career goals are relative to what they're majoring in.
I'm probably a prime example of that. I'm actually an animal science major with a business option and have plans to go into law school. So I want to stay in agriculture, stay in animal agriculture, and animal science is a good fit for me. I love the faculty and I love the department, and I just need a degree really to go to law school. So that's kind of my career path.
Absolutely, and I'm an animal science agriculture education major, which a lot of people just assume and stereotype that I directly want to go into teaching, which I do have a passion for teaching, and that's something I'd like to do someday. But as Jan Lee said, with an animal science and ag education background, ag education allows you to get a very broad perspective of agriculture. You're taking a lot of different types of courses in all the departments that Dr. Cooper talked about. And so I realized that although I do want to actually end up and go back and teach high school agriculture, that if something else presents itself, I'm going to be very well-rounded and prepared to do anything. And like you said, you talk about cool jobs. A lot of the jobs that a lot of students are coming into, they won't even have been created yet, because agriculture is changing so much. We have the demand for more food by the year 2050. And so I think that's something you need to keep in mind too, is just try to be as well-rounded as possible, because that job you may end up with someday probably isn't even created yet.
That's definitely the truth. We tell our students each and every day that, prepare yourselves. The things you're going to be learning now in the classroom, in 10 years they could be obsolete. That's why continuing your education is always so important, really staying on the forefront of your career. I know what I really want to do right now is, after I graduate here at OSU, I'd like to attend grad school. I would really like to get my graduate degree in agricultural education. And like Clay said, I don't necessarily want to go back to a high school and teach agriculture, but if that opportunity presents itself, I'll take advantage of that. Essentially, what I'd like to do is what the Kasner ambassadors do as students. I'd really like to carry that over into my professional career, working with a university and showcasing what OSU or any university really has to offer is something I'm passionate about. Getting students involved in their education and really drawing them in to have a quality educational experience is something I really have a calling for, and so that's kind of where I want to head into my career field.
I think one of the biggest benefits that the College of Ag has to offer is that we actually have a coordinator for career services on staff. So she's here to help you answer any kind of questions that you could have, whether it be how you can improve your interview skills, to critique your resume, to show you what opportunities there are out there if you're already looking for a job. And then again, on the animal science department, we have a student success coordinator who does a similar thing just for the students in that department. So the opportunities are there, and the people here are here to help you find them. So I think there's tons of cool jobs for you to look into if you're interested in the College of Ag.
And I always tell people, you know, if I'm advocating agriculture and working with people, I'm going to be happy. And OSU really supplies you with the skills to do that if that's what you're passionate about.
Go
Go
Post.
Post.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you all for visiting.